We're going to head out to the village of Elk Grove, where they're going to be hosting a town hall very soon. And this comes following the Ascension Alexian Brothers Hospital recently decided to discontinue both labor and delivery services in Elk Grove Village. We're now joined by Mayor Craig Johnson this afternoon. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So first, give me an update. What was the reaction from the community when they learned that the Alexian Brothers Hospital was going to remove those labor and delivery services there?
Well, people obviously were not very happy. They had great concerns because that's an important aspect of any community hospital. You know, basically from start of life to finish life, you want the same community hospital carrying you. And so a lot of people were upset about it, concerned, and worried, is this the only thing that's going to happen or what else is going to change at the hospital?
And Mayor Johnson, you said that the village is committed to ensuring that the community's voice will be heard on this matter. How are you guys going about making sure that that happens?
Well, one way is tonight having a town hall meeting where the hospital, to their credit, is going to have all their executives there, doctors there to explain what's going on, what's going to be going on in the future at the hospital. And that'll give us a chance to get the information straight from them. And then we have a second opportunity, and that's when the Illinois State Hearing Board will have a meeting here on the 16th of September from 4 to 7 p.m. at the Village Hall. And that's where the public can go. They'll have 2 minutes to say the statement to the board as far as what they feel about the maternity ward being moved from Elk Grove to Hoffman Estates. So we have two chances to be heard. Tonight, hopefully, can answer most of the questions and maybe dissuade some concerns we may have, or it may just fire people up to make sure they show up on the 16th to make sure the voices are heard again.
Now, you mentioned some of these services being transferred to Hoffman Estates. Is that the only option here, or are there maybe future things that could kind of fill in some of these gaps that are going to be left here?
Well, and that's what we're hoping to find out tonight. And that's why this is a critical meeting for my community and the communities around us that rely on Alexian Brothers to be their medical source. So we're going to wait to hear what happened. There's been some minor change already. ENT's been removed from Alexian Brothers. Some other areas have been reduced. Doctors' numbers aren't what they used to be there. So we need to know what's happening, what's the long-term goals of the hospital, and more importantly, how can the hospital meet the needs of this community? Alexian Brothers is truly a community hospital. We've partnered over the years. We helped build a full interchange right outside the hospital doors to assist them. We also have waived tens of millions of dollars in fees and permit costs over the years, partnering with them to help them financially. So we truly been a strong partner. It's always been a great partnership. We just want to find out what's happening today and what the plans are for tomorrow. And based on what we hear, obviously it's going to be based on what reaction we have and what our future direction will be also.
And you mentioned that partnership over the years. How do you think that this will play out in terms of what's to come for the future here of Elk Grove and the Ascension Brothers Hospital?
Well, our hope is we understand the world of medicine's changed. No longer do you really have in urban areas like this community hospitals. You still may have a community hospital in Nebraska, but not so much around here. They're all part of networks nowadays. So we understand it can't be exactly what it was 40, 50 years ago. But we still want to make sure it serves the community. And serving the community cannot just be a localized specialty hospital. It's got to handle all needs that people have. We understand they can be modified and changed for today's world compared to what's done in the past. But we want to hear how those changes are going to occur, how they're going to meet our needs, and how we make sure they still stay part of the community.
And when this goes into effect, do you have a timeline for when this will start?
Well, the official ruling from the state won't occur till November. So our thought is when this transition is done and complete, might be the end of the year, first of next year. But hopefully tonight, Alexian Brothers will give us a better timeline, exactly how this will go forward if it does go through, and what happens if it doesn't go through. Because the hospital is still going to be here, and we still want them serving the needs of this community.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask that. Once you kind of find out whether this is going to happen or whether it's not, what are going to be some of the, I guess, economic impacts for the village of Elk Grove?
Well, Alexian Brothers is the largest employer in the village. And remember, Elk Grove Village is home to the largest business park in North America. We've got almost 6,000 businesses here in Elk Grove, Over 70,000 people work here every day. So we have a big economic engine, which they're part of. And so as far as the impact, my hope is it's minimal, but we won't know until we hear what they have to say tonight. So that's why anyone interested in what's going on with Alexian Brothers, we encourage them to show up tonight, 6:30, Belvedere Banquets at the corner of Devon and Rowling Road here in Elk Grove. Everyone's welcome. Alexian Brothers, to their credit, is committed to stay and answer every question that people have tonight. And so we're going to hold them to it. We're going to make sure it's a responsible and respectful meeting for all of us. We don't want people getting too emotional about it, but we want to make sure we get the answers we need to have so we know what's going to happen in the future. And remember, all 4 of my children and 8 of my 10 grandchildren were born at Alexian Brothers here in Elk Grove. So I got a personal vested interest to make sure everything's still serving and meets the needs of the people too.
Obviously, this could be a very hot button topic, and things could get escalated there. What kind of, crowds are you expecting at this town hall tonight for people who are either for or against this?
Well, the thought was, it's hard to judge sometimes. When this first came out a month and a half ago, I would have expected hundreds of people to show up. Tonight, we could still have hundreds of people, or we could have, 50, 60, 70 people. It depends on people's mindset at this time. We will make sure it's done in a respectful, professional manner. That's why I'm going to host it. I've been married 28 years, so I'm used to working with crowds and making sure everyone works and respectful each other. So we're going to make sure it's a good meeting. It's an information meeting. And again, I do compliment Alexian Brothers willing to come out and meet the people face to face, answer the questions, and answer all of our concerns we have. And I compliment them for that. So I'm expecting a very good meeting tonight. My hope is we all stay civil. We'll make sure, I've been a wrestling coach for 55 years, so I'll make sure everyone stays civil, and we'll make sure we get everything done in the right way.